Welcome back to the Stormcast, everyone. This is the podcast where we talk all things TABC sports. My name is Ellie Hochberg. I'm here with my co-host, Oren Glickman. And TABC will be playing in 2 or 3 championships this from Sunday to Sunday. And I think it's an exciting week all around. And we're here to preview and recap the semifinal win, varsity basketball semifinal win over North Shore this past Wednesday night. Oren, how you doing?
Tired. But it's not about me.
Yeah, I mean, you are not wrong here. It's been, especially for you, I guess, an exhausting week. Nope, if you want to put me back in the middle and not in the little corner, that would be appreciated. Well, we'll talk about this varsity basketball game first. So on Wednesday night, the TABC varsity basketball team defeated the North Shore Lions, I guess they're called.
Yep.
Did not think about that. They defeated them 46-35. It was the score's a little bit deceiving. First quarter went 11-10. TBC was up 11-10. Second quarter 22-20. After the third quarter, I don't remember the exact score, but after the fourth quarter, obviously 46-35. Akiva Borgen looked like himself this game. I'll let you talk first, all right, and I'll give my comments.
Listen, it was a great win. Started off on an inspiring note with Zevi Samet delivering to Hillen. Listen, it's good that we got the Flatbush game under our belt now. I think we played a more consistent game. I think we took care of the basketball a lot better in this one compared to the Flatbush quarterfinal game. And frankly, our juniors outplayed our seniors. Kiva Borgen and Jonathan Faber led the way. So it's a very exciting time now in school. It's not the first time we've punched our ticket into a championship game. I want viewers to know that. We punched our ticket into a championship game Zevi Samet's junior year of high school when he went off against DRS the day after COVID lockdown began and the championship game was never played. So it's not the first time we have punched our ticket into a championship game, but it will be the first time in school history that we'll be playing in a varsity championship game.
Varsity basketball, that is, just to clarify.
Yeah.
So this game, Ayal Candelara, of course, is not to diminish him in any way, shape, or form. He got into foul trouble early, as well as Jonathan Faber. Ayal had 7 and 8, 7 points, 8 rebounds, and in his absence, Akiva Borgen really showed up. Akiva Borgen, if you remember, if those who watched the games last year, was really a superstar. His main shot was the
mid-range.
Classic mid-range, exactly.
Yeah.
And
I'm sorry. We also have to talk about the beast that has been Sion Kaiser.
Oh, of course. We'll talk about him in a minute. But Akiva Borgen, of course, this year has been a little bit overshadowed by Ayal. This is, of course, just Ayal as a senior, has more experience, et cetera, et cetera. With Ayal's absence, Akiva Borgen looked like himself again, hitting mid-ranges that are insane to hit. He was dominant on the board, 16, 7, and 3. He was a great facilitator. Jonathan Faber hit 3 big threes. He had 10 points.
And his defensive intensity was great, too.
Exactly. So, Akiva Borgen and Jonathan Faber scored 26 points combined. They scored the 2 most points on the team. David Sachs and Yoni Mandel, of course, were great per usual, great on the defensive end, great facilitators, but they combined for 10 total, meaning the juniors were the real scorers. And of course, as OG mentioned, you can never forget about Sion Kaiser. 3 points and 14 rebounds. One of the most dominant, most Draymond Green sellers of all time.
He's not tall.
I know.
He knows where to go, and even Coach Oz is not able to comprehend it sometimes. But yeah.
I really like the Draymond Green comparison. I'm not talking about personalities here, but he's not really that tall, but a great facilitator, not much of a scorer, and an incredible rebounder. I think we're all incredibly impressed by his performance, and this team will be heading on to play DRS next Sunday.
No, we won't know till tomorrow night.
Oh, sorry, I got confused with JV hockey. We're playing DRS MDY. Sorry, I started doing the JV hockey review.
I think most people assume it'll be DRS.
Yes. We gotta wait DRS MDY. We play the games. That is my fault. Motzei Shabbos. We're recording this Friday, so tomorrow night, I'm sure most of you will be listening to this while the game's going on. DRS will be hosting MDY to play the winner, and the winner goes on to play TABC. Or if you want to talk about anything else regarding this game.
No, I think everybody will be tuning in tomorrow night. I think everybody's expecting it'll be DRS, but Mag and David have that championship pedigree. They're defending champs, so you can't underestimate them by any stretch. And it's a very exciting time for our school. Very proud of the guys. We'll be playing in a varsity championship for the first time in school history. Guys have plenty to be proud of. Um, you know, uh, my biggest question going into the championship game is, with North Shore, they're not particularly big, so we were able to get away with Ayala being in foul trouble. But I think against Mag and David or DRS, it'll be a lot harder. Does Coach Oz continue to go with the 6-man rotation? These are some of the questions I have as we head into Championship Sunday, Championship Sunday Part 2, because we have a Championship Sunday this weekend as well.
Of course. I think we'll do a more thorough preview of the championship once we know who we're playing. For obvious reasons, it's kind of hard to do a preview. Just want to give a shout out.
During suit on Friday, we'll do that.
Exactly. I just want to give a shout out to Bokar, or however you pronounce it, Bokar.
Eli Bokor. Eli Bokor.
Bokor. He had 16 and 6. He was really the main offensive presence for MTY.
Sassoon's terrific. He's going to be one of the best seniors in the league next year.
Sassoon, yes. Also, he was. Yeah. There's just one thing about the North Shore team. I kept on telling you, their defense really impressed me.
And it's not over for them. We'll see them in Sarachek.
Yeah, of course. We'll do a Sarachek preview, of course. 19 days till Sarachek. We have a little bit of a countdown going on. I guess we'll see seeding soon. But I was really impressed with this North Shore defense. They really shut down this TBC offense. TBC's main offense came from threes, and none of that were so open in the sense that it was North Shore really played incredible defense. Even though they didn't have so much size besides Phil Cohen, they really shut down Ayala for the most part.
Yeah. Phil Cohen, who's North Shore star, he had a frustrating game too.
Yeah. And just one note, TBC in the first 2 quarters had 5 threes and 3 twos. All 3 twos were by Ayala, meaning they really shut down the inside. We were forced to move the outside. But, of course, the effort wasn't enough. This TBC team, as we've been saying since the beginning, is probably one of the best varsity basketball teams in the league. And moving on, and before we do the JV hockey preview, we will introduce our guest, Adine Catler, for the JV hockey preview. He is one of the stars of the JV hockey team, and we'll cut to there now. We are here with a very special guest, one of the stars of the JV hockey team, Adine Catler. We're recording this on Friday afternoon with the JV hockey finals are going to be Sunday afternoon. So, Adine, so last time you guys played DRS, you were not active. You were recovering from an injury. TBC lost to DRS 4-1. What do you expect from this game, and why do you expect this game to be different?
Playing in Hafter, it's kind of like their home court advantage more. It's 5 towns, they've played there a bunch of times before. We lost to that. We lost to Hafter, right? So we started our season off with a loss at Hafter, played DRS at home, lost 4-1. I was on the bench for 90% of the season, only came back with the last game with Rambam. But what do I expect is going to be different against DRS this time around? I think we know what's coming. We know exactly how they're going to play the game, and we're just going to shut it down. We did a lot of practice on watching the point and getting the ball out of the middle, taking the man out of the middle, lifting sticks, things like that are going to help us win this game.
So you actually have the opportunity to do something that nobody else will on the court on Sunday. You have the opportunity to be a back-to-back champ. And you actually had the opportunity to play DRS in the final last year. So how do you anticipate them? Like, are there any DRS players that you went toe-to-toe with in the championship last year that you'll be meeting again this year, that you can anticipate a specific type of style that they'll be playing and approaching this game?
From last year, a majority of their guys are now on the varsity team. But from watching them this year when we played at home in our 4-1 loss, I'm watching the point. Goldstoff, Rogoff, Herskowitz. I'm just gonna do what I can and shut them down. Take away all their shots, all their angles.
Yeah. This year obviously has been a little bit different for you. You were sitting on the bench for most of the year, unfortunately, recovering from an injury. So how do you think? I mean, one, what was that experience like, and two, how does it feel to be back on the court?
Um, it feels amazing. Like hockey for me is like a big part of like my life, and I do it. I mean, I've been practicing. Sorry, can you stop? Actually, stop. Since I have someone next to me since seventh grade, and practice 2 times a week for the past 3 years. Having an injury and not being able to do it has been a lot, and it's been a lot to deal with. But it feels really good to be back. Going from a terrible team, going from like I don't know, I think we were 0-4 to start. So just going from a team that had no like everyone thought had no shot at winning the championship, nothing, to being in the championship and being like having a good chance to win. And I mean, everyone else watching thinks DRS is going to kill us because they killed us at home, but I know that we're not going to lose, and I don't think anybody on my team thinks we're going to lose.
Mm-hmm.
So it feels great.
Yeah, so talk to us about that adversity. You said it yourself that this team has faced a lot of challenges throughout the year, and a lot of people expected JV to flounder, not even make the playoffs, and people expected Varsity to go all the way and win a championship. But it's why you play the games. Even through all the struggles, did you guys still always believe that you could get this close and be playing in a championship game on Sunday?
100%. We've basically had our backs up against the wall since like November time, December time, when we had to play YDE. That was a must-win game. And since that was in, I want to say December.
Yeah, December 16th.
December, yeah. So when we played YDE, that was a must-win game. And since then, we haven't lost. So since we beat YDE, coming back from Brooklyn, we knew that we had a shot, and we knew that it was going to be hard, but we were going to do it. And especially beating SAR 2-0 was huge. That was a big one, especially at them. Then beating MTA again, Rambam again. Rambam was like a very big win. And then beating Frisch. I think for a lot of the guys on the team, beating Frisch was kind of like that turning point where it's like, we really got something going. Like we took out the best team in the league. They killed us. So I think that last Thursday was a huge turning point for all the guys that maybe didn't believe that we could win. But once we took Frisch out, I think everybody has their mind set on a championship.
Yeah. Talk to us about that night. Was that like your favorite night of the year thus far?
That was my favorite night of the year, yeah, by far.
Yeah, and honestly, that was incredible when you started us off with a goal 20 seconds into the game. I mean, unfortunately, I think we're all somewhat skeptics. Of course, we believed, but I think we all thought that varsity hockey was better, that Frisch was a better team.
100%.
And I think Frisch thought that also. And I think, honestly, as you mentioned, it might have been a thought in a lot of the back of the players' minds. And then that goal really set the tone. So, if Oren, you want to finish this off with one or two questions?
Yeah, that the SAR game was the do or die moment because everybody expected us to, roll over Rambam. And I'm sure that's a game that you really wanted to play in because that was going to be your former team.
I was supposed to play in that game, but then some things got pushed back and had to wait a little longer.
Yeah. But that was the real playoff clincher, and you were not able to play in that game. But how did you best prepare your teammates for that one going in, knowing that you knew that team very well that they'd be going up against?
A big part of SAR is the rink in the court, and preparing your team to play in a court like that with the way that the ball bounces and just knowing every single place on that court and where the ball is going to hit and where it's going to go. I think that played a big part in our win. They call it the pinball machine. So like I told them just shoot it at the back wall, it'll bounce right to the middle and you'll get a rebound. Like there's none of this TBC getting stuck under the boards kind of thing. It's the ball's always in play. It's always moving. So I told them to like stay on their feet and be ready and communicate. Like communication is obviously key, but especially in SAR when the ball is always moving and things are always moving, you got to communicate. So I told them that, and they executed unbelievably. They played a great game.
Yeah. People also, they always talked about how you were the third coach next to Svika and Robin. Did you ever have the opportunity to, be in private rooms with the two coaches while you were still nursing your injury?
Never like that, but I did give them recommendations and I did give them ideas, and some were touched upon, some weren't. But now that we're at the point of the season that we are, they've done a terrific job throughout the season. a lot of people were skeptical, but look where we are. They did a terrific job. Hopefully they took some of my advice to heart. Hopefully some not, but overall,
we can still call you a player coach.
call me a player/coach. Yeah.
Well, Adine, thank you so much for joining the podcast. We wish you much hatzlacha. We're all rooting for you on Sunday. We look
Thank
forward
you.
to celebrating, hopefully, a championship win. Have a
And
good
back
Shabbos.
picks for you, obviously.
Yeah, of course. Have a good Shabbos.
Thank you. Have a good Shabbos.
Bye. So it was great to have Adine on. He gave us some really great insights, and I think we'd just like to talk about a few more points. I think we did a brief preview last time around, but if Oren, you want to talk about anything else regarding this DRS location change, time, anything?
Well, I don't want to dig too into it because I don't want to get in trouble with anyone. But
Let's talk about where
it
it
was
is now.
originally 2:00 in North Shore. Now it's 11:45 a.m. at Hafter. My advice to everyone is to get a good night's sleep because we moved the clocks. It'll feel like
10:45.
10:45. Yeah. So but I think the guys are more than up to the challenge. They played at Hafter before. It was the first game of the season, didn't go so well, but I don't think you could read too much into the location and the fact that we'll be able to have a bigger capacity for fans. I think we'll be able to use that to our advantage. And it's like Dean said, that 4-1 loss at home against DRS back in December. Was it December?
Yeah, December 7th.
That was a totally different team than we have now. So both teams are 0-0. And, hopefully we'll get some magic the way we did the last time we beat DRS in a JV hockey championship, courtesy of that Aiden Rousman overtime goal. If folks remember that.
Yeah, of course. I wasn't in the school yet, but I was.
You were the guy, but I knew about it.
Yeah, well, you're a little older than me, and you were a little more involved in Yeshiva League Pass than I was, to say the least.
Not even actually, but definitely knew what was going on in sports.
Okay. I was clearly wrong again. But last time TBC played Hafter, I know it's not Hafter, just a point of note. One, we have a different goalie from last time.
Right, South Sandell was not in that. Yeah.
Meaning Saul Sandell started. I don't know how you would think playing in Hafter again give them an advantage. And if you remember, you were in Cooper, I believe. You were at the Cooper tournament.
I was flying to Memphis that night, so I was not at the game.
What happened was a goal went off the back into the net off of Max Moskov's back, if I remember correctly, to give Hafter the lead. That happened in the Hafter game. Was I believe Hafter went up 2-0, and then TBC stormed back.
We lost to Hafter last year too, with the previous JV team. So as they always like to say, a third time's a charm.
Exactly. So let's see. Of course, we're not playing Hafter, but I think playing in the score gives an advantage to everyone. Familiarity. We'll see. If you want to talk about this, we talked about Hillel Golubchik last time. If you want to shout out anyone on the DRS team, talk about who plays well.
Yeah. So correct me if I'm wrong. I think Morgenstern, Rogoff. I think those are some of their hotshot players.
Yeah. And who's the guy who had a hat trick? At us last time. There's a kid who had a hat trick. I can't remember.
Is it maybe Ritter, Papilski?
Might have been Ritter. I can't remember exactly right now. But again, the DRS team is talented per usual. Like it shouldn't be shocking that DRS team is talented, especially in hockey.
It looks like when DRS went to Hafter this year, they only won 1-0.
Yeah. So it's fascinating. Hafter's given DRS good fights in both hockeys, even though they're clearly not on the same caliber as DRS. And this is a point of note. The DRS team, this DRS team was the same team that lost to Frisch 8-1 previously. Meaning, again, it's hard.
And that's what confirmed us going to Frisch instead of DRS in the previous round.
Yeah, of course, it's a little hard to do this clashman of like, because this team beat this team, then we're better. It's not really that. It's the point that it's not that this DRS team is an unattainable team to beat. It's a DRS team we played in completely different circumstances, lost to a first team we beat, and a team we almost tied earlier in the year, 8-1. Meaning, I think this game is, as Dean said, I think people are down at TBC. I think there's a 50-50 toss-up. I don't think anyone would be shocked. I think people would be shocked if TBC won, but I don't think us at TBC would be shocked. Meaning that DRS might be favorites on the betting line, but not in our hearts. I mean, I think it's a 50-50 game.
But I don't think DRS are even going into this game thinking they're favorites. I think they go into this game in a sense of curiosity now. They won 4-1 at TABC earlier in the year with no Cattler. Now they're playing TABC with Cattler. Someone who they went up against in last year's championship too.
And by the way, today is March 7th, the day we were recording this. It was 3 months ago to the date. It was 3 months ago to the date when we lost to DRS. So this is a whole new team. This is a whole 3 months. The 3 months worth of 2 days a week 2 days a week practicing more recently. Meaning, I don't think we could take anything from that game. Really. I mean, we take some things, but you can't really take the score and apply that here.
No, listen. If you took everything into account through TABC JV hockey season, then you wouldn't be talking about them playing in the championship game.
Yes, this season has been one of ups and downs. A team that lost the first 4-1, defeated them 4-1 when first beat TABC 4-1. It was a much closer game. It was 1-1 in the third period. Now TABC was up 4-0 against First in the first period. This team is not by no means the same team that was the team that played against DRS earlier in the year. So hopefully we'll see you all there. If you're a fan, if you're a TABC student, buses will be leaving at 10:15, 10:30?
10:15, I believe.
10:15, 9:30 Shachris, or earlier if you're Noah Kessler. Shout out to all those listening. If you probably listen to the Moshe Shabbos, good luck.
Wait, we want to talk about ice hockey?
Oh yeah, ice. We'll talk about ice briefly. I don't know anything about ice hockey. Sorry, Aryeh.
Listen, 8:45 p.m. American Dream in East Rutherford. I'm probably taking a fan car of just Hach and Noak. Listen, it'd be nice to win. Ice hockey hasn't been getting a lot of attention, but now they are. And let's go Storm.
Well, by the way, thanks, Noak, for putting me back in the middle now. Thank you all so much for listening. If you're listening to this before Shabbos somehow, have a good Shabbos or have a good Tvach. We'll see you tomorrow.
But before we leave, shout out to Joseph Goldberg, #1 fan of the Stormcast. I know he's watching.
Joseph Goldberg.
No, man, he's already chomping at the bit for that volleyball preview.
Exactly. He's ready. Hopefully, after all the championship games, we can maybe fit between there and Sarachek, or during Sarachek, we'll fit in a spring sports preview, even though spring sports will have already begun.
Softball tryout this Tuesday.
Softball tryout this Tuesday?
Tuesday.
Minutes championship.
6:30 of OT. It's before.
Okay. Well, thank you all so much.
Then tomorrow night,
tennis tryouts.
Tennis tryouts.
It'll have already happened when people are tuning into this.
Yes, exactly. So thank you all so much for listening, and we'll see you on Sunday.
Let's go Storm.
Let's go Storm.